Alright, so y'all did such a great job yesterday, and so I'm going to give you guys a couple of more indirect problems because I know that's what you guys struggle with, and that's what the IB is going to ask you. These first few are simply finding arc length, but we're given different types of information. So the first one is pretty straightforward. You're given the radius and you're given the angle. So that's exactly what y'all did yesterday. But then we get to number 2, and again, the first little trickery is the diameter is 24 centimeters. So that tells you that the radius must be half of that, right? So this radius is going to be 12 centimeters. Still not that crazy, not that tricky. Okay. When we look at the third one, okay, this one now they're going to give us the length of the arc, and then they're going to ask for the radius. Okay, so we know that the arc length, so our formula is arc length equals theta in radians times the radius. And so here we have our arc length, which we know is 5 pi. And then we're going to go ahead and substitute in that theta, but remember it's going to be 30 and then times pi over 180. Alright, I'm sorry for the bad handwriting, I'm struggling with this new screen. And then that times radius. Okay, so if we simplify here, first obviously we want to cancel out those. Divide both of those by 10, so that's going to be 3 over 18, which reduces down to 1 over 6. So I'm not going to do all the work right there, but that's going to be pi over 6. And that's pi over 6 times the radius equals 5 pi. Now, this next part is what's tricky, okay, because you want to get r by itself. So you have to do the opposite. So right here, you're going to see that it says times pi over 6. So you want to do the opposite, which is dividing by pi over 6. But another way of thinking of that is instead of dividing, because that's just going to look that disgusting, what we want to do is just multiply both sides by the reciprocal, because that will also do the same thing. So we multiply both sides by 6 over pi. Okay, and so this is going to give us just r on the right side, and on the left side the pi's will divide out, and now you just start left with 6 times 5, which is 30. Okay, so yeah, that's a little bit different. Let's do one where we have a circumference, and then from there I'll let y'all work. So let's just look at number 6, and then I will see y'all Wednesday. So on number 6 we have a circle that has a circumference whose length is 25 pi. Now we have to remember, and this is also in your formula charts, circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, so if we know the circumference, we're going to find the radius pretty easily. Okay, so I might as well go ahead and just knock that out. 25 pi equals 2 pi over r. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi, and I end up with r equals 25 over 2. Give you a second to make sure you understand what happened there. I just divided both sides by 2 pi, and then the pi is divided out. Okay, so there's my radius. Find the length of the arc, whose central angle is 90. So arc length is theta r. So the arc length is going to be 90 degrees times pi over 180 times 25 over 2. And based off of yesterday's class, hopefully I'll be able to simplify that out. Okay, but again, this is just kind of breaking it down into other steps, and hopefully with all the extra practice we did yesterday, that helped you guys out on how to do these. So I will see you all around. Deuces.